To the Retention Nation podcast, the show for e-commerce brands looking to turn one-time and sometime buyers into lifetime and forever customers. Hosted by Isaac Hyman, an ex-VP of Retention and featured speaker, author, masterclass creator, and founder of High Flyer Digital, each episode features successful brands, apps, and experts who are sharing cutting-edge, innovative, and proven email, SMS, retention insights that help them grow their business to the next level profitably. Our mission is to give you the retention strategies you need to unlock profitable, predictable, and scalable revenue from every customer on your list. Let's get started. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Retention Nation podcast, the podcast that teaches you how to turn one-time and sometime buyers into lifetime buyers every time in half the time, thereby increasing your revenue profits and creating a predictable, profitable, and sustainable revenue stream for your business. And I'm really excited to talk about this week's podcast where we're diving into the perfect Black Friday email template that doubles your clicks and conversions. And this is going to be a really important one because there are many times that brands don't understand how to actually get the traffic to their site in time for Black Friday, and nor do they understand how to actually convert more customers. Reality is they tend to focus on sending more. I'm going to teach you how to send fewer yet better messages to your customers, increase your clicks and your conversions. So super excited to get started on this. As always, I highly recommend you get a copy of my 330-page email and SMS playbook. I have the copy right here. I scroll more little screen over here. It's a 330-page Bible that you can use to actually understand the strategies of the top brands and implement it into your business right away. Now, Black Friday is a totally different beast. It's a totally different animal, as we both know. 5 days from Thanksgiving till Cyber Monday, 5 days of sales and conversion and just madness in many ways. I want to teach you how to maximize that holiday season, specifically with your email templates. So let's get started. Let's get moving on it. Number one, you know my background already, right? I was the former VP of Retention. The top brands generated over $400 million in new revenue for brands, sent billions in emails, speaker, guest lecturer, panelist, author, masterclass creator, you name it. I've been on your side of the table. And I think over the years, I've found that majority of the time, it's not about sending more emails. It's about perfecting the template you have. And I've mentioned this a lot of times that there's a person behind the inbox. And the key behind connecting to that one person is not about sending more. It's about sending more segmented and personalized messages. So you actually feel like there's a connection there. And it's not, if you're sending more emails, you're going to actually blast out your list and you're actually, your budget's going to go up. Your email budget, your Klaviyo bill will rise. Everything about your program will just become a little bit more profitable, right? And that $40 for every $1 ROI you're trying to gain, it just doesn't, it doesn't get realized. So I want to help you realize that true potential, that true profit potential, and actually help you send fewer things so you don't overwhelm the inbox, you don't run the risk of spam filters, and you don't actually, bombard your customer to the point of being tuned out. That's the biggest culprit of sending more. I'd rather you send fewer, but make them better. Really make them more intentional when you actually do. So to understand our template and understand what goes into our thought process of really the email template that we're crafting, you got to really go back to the beginning and think to yourself, what was Black Friday back in the day? Black Friday was madness. You find that people would line up around the block in stores, and it still happens. Don't get me wrong. It still happens, but a lot more people are shopping online now. But back in the day, right, the nature of the customer was there's a lot of opportunity. I'm going to come to the store for one or two main items, and maybe I'll buy a whole bunch of other things while I'm there. And there's usually this loss leader that got people stampeding through the door like a big TV on sale for, pennies. And then there's iPads and electronics. People tend to shop electronics on Black Friday. There's the one day of deals. Again, they line up around the block. Their stores are open on Thanksgiving Day. And again, that still exists. But the mentality of the customer is that they tend to wait. They tend to line up and get ready. And there's a whole different strategy I have for, November that talks all about how to get those customers who are waiting for Black Friday, how to get them to buy earlier. That's a whole different podcast and whole different webinar I've done. What I want to talk about is how do we get that kind of mass amount of eyeballs to your website? All those customers are looking. How do we get that mass amount of traffic right here and get them to buy more often. So I really want to focus on getting more traffic to your site. And that's really what email and SMS is about, specifically email for this podcast. I want to get more traffic, right? Email is a traffic generator. Ads are a traffic generator, right? Influencers are a traffic generator. Everything is meant to do one thing, drive traffic to your store, either online or brick and mortar. And email is no different. You've got to get more people to your online store. That's it. What they do when they're there, well, that's a different podcast. That's a different episode. I'm going to give you some tips. I have a webinar running soon that will give you some tips on how to maximize the traffic that comes to your store, specifically from the email channel. But for now, let's focus on getting those clicks through and also getting the conversions from your email and increasing the conversion rate from email. Of course, as a brand, you need to focus on your entire marketing channel and ecosystem. I'm going to focus on the email side right now. Really important to always remember, and we're going back to where my playbook for design kind of comes in. Really, I have a C4 design playbook that specifically focuses on 4 key pillars for design. I'll talk about them in a second. But in reality is, the best way to design your emails is around the customer, right? It's all about personalization. If you're hearing from people that talk about design is the tip of the spear, you got to have this gorgeous design, subjective design, or you have to write better copy, or AI write your copy, or human copywriters, or that you need to ensure that your data is coming in, or that you have a great offer, or that the context of the email is there. All that is good and well, but it's only a subset of one main goal, which is deep one-to-one customer personalization. And without that personalization, you have no clicks and you have no conversions, period. Now, you may think that your gorgeous email looks great in the inbox and you love it. You're admiring it every single day, keeping an eye on it, sticking it up in the Louvre, right? But reality is, if it's not getting clicks, if it's not getting 1%, 5%, 10% click rate, it's probably not very good, right? It's a very subjective design. You're not getting those clicks to the store that you expected, right? All you have is a nice looking email, most likely because you're focusing on design, and most likely because you're focusing on copy. I want you to focus on personalization. That's really what it's about. And without it, again, no clicks or conversions. That's the key. And here's my C4 playbook in a nutshell. Again, I have a whole podcast and webinar dedicated to this. C4 stands for 4 key pillars when it comes to your email design. And it comes to number 1, context, number 2, creatives, number 3, customer, and number 4, conversion. You got to have the right context of the email. Like, what is it trying to tell you? What is it trying to get across? What is the goal of that email? You have to have your creatives dialed in, nice looking creatives, but really centered around the next C is customer. Centered around the customer is really what it's about. And then finally, that last part, that's that 4th C. It's all C4, right? 4th C is conversion. What's your linking strategy? Where are you driving them to? How is your email and your website kind of connected in some way to actually get them to convert? So 4 C's: context, creatives, customer, and conversion. And if you don't have one of those pillars, you run the risk of not really having a strong email program overall. So you really want to focus on those 4 areas: context, creatives, customer, and conversion. Really important to remember. Again, I have a whole podcast dedicated to just our C4 playbook. I just want to apply those 4 principles to our Black Friday email templates right away. So let's get into it. What exactly is the perfect Black Friday email template that are guaranteed to double our clicks and our conversions? So you may already have seen a bunch of emails in your inbox for Black Friday by now, right? We're filming this in November, so you probably have an inbox filled of early Black Friday or Black Friday VIP early access, or starts now, or preview day. And there's a structure behind those emails, as you can see. If you're watching on this video, but even by audio, I'll explain each section to you. But most emails from the biggest brands in the world, and the biggest retailers specifically also, are designed with a structure, right? It's designed with a goal, which is to get clicks, get exploration, position personalized products in front of them, and position your value, right? So there's a structure. You can see from Nordstrom, Macy's, Wayfair, Guitar Center, Pretty Little Things. All of them have a structure from their email. And it starts with the hero image. What is that hero image given across? It's Black Friday. It's early Black Friday, our biggest Black Friday ever, X% off, you name it. And then underneath it, you'll find navigation, right? You'll find the category navigation that allows people to explore more of the products they have. And, especially if you're a store that has a whole bunch of SKUs, You want to be able to get people to see your variety. That's really what it comes down to. And then underneath it, you see maybe dynamic products curated for them, picked for them, something that's related to what they've done in the past, what they've shown an interest in. And then finally, under that is our value. And that's kind of what you're seeing in a lot of the emails. Now, you're going to hear out there somewhere that people sometimes say, one click is all you need. I'm telling you that is, patently false. You don't just need one image to get one click. And the reason why is that it's a hit or miss. That's a yes or no option, right? You're either clicking or you're not. That isn't enough. You need to get a majority of clicks that is connected to the person, right? And the more clicks that are relevant, the more click points and opportunities that are relevant, the higher your click rate will be, right? I'll give you a great example, right? If you put in to your brand, let's say, I'll just give an example from any brand I know out there. I'll take Stanley mugs, right? Just as an example. If I'm selling Stanley mugs and I put a picture of a pink mug in my Black Friday template, well, if I'm interested in pink mugs, I will click through. If I'm not interested and I'd rather have black mugs, I won't click through. You see that there's not an option there. I'm not seeing myself. I'm not seeing that opportunity in that email, so I'm not going to click. But if there were different click points in the email that said shop pink, shop black, shop blue, shop green, or shop small, shop large, or shop bundles, shop accessories, all those click points give me another idea of what to click on. They give me another inspiration. So that maximizes the amount of clicks you're going to get. The second part is that this also gives you data to make decisions on your very next email. So I'll give a great example. If within my email, I'm going to show you right now, let's take a look at the Wayfair one in the middle. You see Wayfair does this nice little image at the very top, and it says our biggest Black Friday ever, up to 80% off. Now, look in the category navigation here, which I'm walking through in a second. If I clicked on wall art, Wayfair now knows that I have an affinity and an interest in wall art during Black Friday. What do you think my next email will be? It will be wall art, right? And that's the way it should be. You should be positioning more of what I want, less of what you want to sell, more of what you want, of what I want, the customer, and that's personalization, right? So you're listening to the clicks as they're coming in, and you're not just relying on yes or no, right? One click images are not going to get enough data as a wall art image. As someone clicking on wall art showing an indication that I'm interested in buying wall art this Black Friday. Okay, that's really important. It's a really important thing to remember that the more click points you have, the more data is exchanged, the more personalized your very next message can be to that customer. It's super important to remember that, right? On top of that, your linking strategy plays a role, which again, I'll go into later, but your linking strategy plays a role because if you're just driving back to the homepage, also, you're not getting data. There's no data exchange, right? It's just going back to the homepage. What do you do now? There's not enough to fuel your program. So main takeaway from this is step back and ignore the advice that says one click is all you need for your Black Friday templates. There's a place for it, but it's not the main place. Let's go into exactly what I mean. Let's talk about consumer psychology of your templates to understand what are people thinking about when they're getting your emails right away. So there's three key principles I've zeroed in on when it comes to Black Friday and Cyber Monday, right? There's number one, curiosity. People are curious. They want to know what's going on. They want to know what is on sale. They want to explore first. They're looking around. Again, think to yourself what your Black Friday day is like. Typically on Black Friday or Cyber Monday, you'll probably go to a store, or you go to a mall, or you go check out what's on sale. Maybe your favorite store has something going on. What is on sale, right? Is this Black Friday deal for everything? Is it site-wide, or is it on certain products or certain collections? I need to know. Let's find out. So my first thing is to explore. So the very first phase of Black Friday, it's curiosity. I'm unsure. I don't know what there is. Am I interested in shirts, pants, belts, hats? I'm curious. I'm in curiosity mode. That's the first phase of Black Friday. And I'm not just curious about in your brand. I'm curious overall. I'm getting bombarded by hundreds of emails in the first hour of Black Friday. Hundreds of emails are in my inbox, and I'm curious. Who has the best deal? What do I really need? What do my kids need? What does my wife need? I need to know. So I'm curious. I'm looking around. The second stage of Black Friday is curated, right? I have kind of zeroed in on the fact that I kind of do need shirts, right? You see the picture of the shirts over here. I do need shirts. right? So I now have zeroed in a little bit better on what I need, and I'm trying to find the right brands and the right items and the right size and the right fit to shop, right? And I'm kind of getting closer to making a purchase. So I'm in the stage of curated, right? I've weeded down the selection. I've focused on what I really need, and now I'm going to start aiming to buy that product. And I have questions. I need to know if I can get it in time. Does the Black Friday offer apply to these products? Do I have the right size, right color, you name it? All these questions are in that mode of curated in answering, right? The last thing, the last phase of Black Friday, the last kind of mentality that customers have are, okay, I'm there. I'm almost like I've found kind of what I'm looking for. I kind of am in that phase of, okay, I think I'm just about ready, right? But I haven't really pulled the trigger. And if you've done it right, a lot of times customers have converted from curiosity phase anyway. So the ones who are lagging are the ones who, you know what, I'm not quite sure. Let me see what else there is. Not quite ready yet. I know what I need. I know what I want. I know you have it, but I need that final push, and I want to get more customers. And you'll need to get more customers to take that final push and take that last step, which is purchasing the items. But I need it, right? Sometimes if you're a customer, you know what, especially the older ones, right? You're browsing on your phone all day, and then you say, you know what, it's a big purchase and I want to spend $1,000 or more, and I need to go to my desktop or my laptop to do it, right? More of an older phase, millennial zone, not the young Gen Z, Gen Alpha, right? They know they're ready to buy on their phone, but usually the older generation, maybe they want to check it from another device. They want to come wait to their computer. They want to talk to their wife. They want to talk to their kids. They need this extra push. And that's where the click phase comes in, that third phase, which is I just want to remind them, get them in, out, done, because they're almost at the finish line. So that extra push, right? These are the three phases of Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Curiosity phase, where they're exploring, want to know what's out there. Curated is they've kind of zeroed in on what they need. Now they just need to kind of find out if you're the right fit for them, if you're the right brand they should shop at. And finally, clicks. They made a decision, you're the right brand, but they need that extra push and reminder that you only have a few hours left, right? That's the consumer psychology. And you can see that when you might yourself went to a store back in the day, or even I still go to a store on Black Friday. When you go to a store, you see yourself, I'm in the store, I'm exploring what is there, what's here, what's there. Let me look at this one. Let me go to Macy's, then let me go to Nordstrom, then let me go to Zara, let me go to H&M, see what they have. Okay, I've zeroed in on, I think this is the best thing, best deal, best offer. Now I've zeroed on a store. And finally, last push, got to get it before it's sold out, right? So that is the consumer psychology you need to tie into. And that's really important when it comes to your email template design. Most emails in general are designed for the brand, right? And I'm going to teach you now that if you're designing for the consumer psychology, you're designing for them, for your customers, for your 1,000 email subscribers, for your 100,000 email subscribers, for your 2 million email subscribers. The more you design emails for them and less about yourself and admiring them, you'll do a lot better. And I would say about 90% of brands actually design emails for themselves. They're only looking at those emails, admiring them. And it's not just one, it's not a zero-sum game. It's not about designing for yourself and not them, or them and not you. You can blend it. And the smartest marketers, the smartest email agencies and marketers out there understand there's a blended approach. You can have gorgeous design, but you also need to have design that speaks to the customer, because that's really what matters. That's personalization at its finest, right? So the best emails are designed for them, not just for you. So remember that mentality, right? Less about you. Like some of these brands out here design emails that are all about them, talking about them, shop the products I want to sell, and all about the brand. But the best emails are more about the customer, what they're gifting, the men, the women, the kids, the gifts, the different things that they're interested in gifting and getting, rather than what you're interested in selling. Super important to remember that distinction. So let's dive into a little bit about the actual template structure to understand how it's crafted and what the point of this structure is. Again, this is what the top brands are doing. I've been there. I've worked with them. I've actually sat in on conferences where we dove into exactly what's in their template, why it's built that way, what to know about that, and how to actually maximize every ounce of real estate within your email. So let's talk about step number one. Number one, the first thing is your hero image, right? Your hero image is what maximizes your clicks. If you ever looked at your data, you're actually able to see that the hero image is what gets the most clicks overall, right? It's above the fold. It's great on desktop and mobile. It actually is a perfect fit for almost every email, right? That's the hero image, gets the most clicks. The navigation, though, drives exploration. And that's super important because when you're talking about curiosity phase, exploration is critical. If you sell more than 100 SKUs, right, it's going to be super important to weed out those SKUs, right? You have maybe men's apparel, maybe women's apparel, kids apparel. Maybe you have boots versus shoes versus socks versus accessories. Maybe you have electronics like cameras or iPads or desktop computers and laptop computers. That navigation allows the customer to find more of what they want and zero in on the selection, right? That's important too, because then you can personalize emails in the future to them based on what they click on. So it drives exploration. That's the point of it. The next part are the products, right? Kind of the little products you see underneath there. Those products yield higher conversion. There's higher conversion from if they click on a product, they go straight to the PDP, right? They don't go to a home page or a collection page or a landing page. They go to the product. And the product is where they convert. That's how you convert them into customers. That's the first step. They got to go to the PDP, right? And it's not just about the fact that it yields conversion. It yields follow-up. If I go to a product page, guess what's triggered? Automatically the trigger starts that a browse abandoned email is fired out, right? So that's the value of it. I'm not, by them clicking on a product, I now empowering a second email to fly, right? Without me having to do anything. An hour later, there's the follow-up, right? So products yield conversion and they trigger the follow-up. The last part, the banners in the footer, which I'm sorry if it's blocked here on the podcast episode, the banners and the footer of your template are meant to provide extra value, secondary value, tertiary value that didn't exist at the very beginning. A great example is Black Friday 50% off sale is great. Throw it out there. That's your hero image. The navigation explores it. Different categories, that's 50% off. Products yield conversion, but the banners and the footer in your template show, hey, there's free shipping all holiday season long. There's free returns all holiday season long. There's get it in time for December 24th promise, right? All your value propositions. Get a gift card. Another example of a banner that can be there. Extra financing, double points during the holiday season. Those are banners you can throw in there where it's secondary or tertiary opportunities. That's the structure of a holiday Black Friday email template. Hero image at the top to drive clicks. Navigation to drive your exploration. Products in there to yield higher conversion. And then finally followed by banners and the footer to capitalize on extra value from the holiday season. That's the structure, right? And it works. And you can see, let me drop it down to what Macy's does, right? Macy's at the very top of their email has a very clear hero image with the sale, the offer, the variety. Look, they're not just focusing on men or not just focusing on women, or not just focusing on kids, like that Stanley Cup example I gave you before. They're showing there's so much variety for everyone. Click in and see what it is, right? Then they have navigation under there to zero in on more categories that we think you'll like, or that's more popular, it's more trending. Women's clothes, men's clothes, kids and toys, beauty, jewelry, home. Underneath that, the products that they position yield conversion, right? Here's different products we think you'll love. Boots on sale for 30% off. And then women's sweaters over there as well. Maybe for kids, right? Lots of things under there that yield higher conversion because you're getting closer to the actual product. And then as you can see, they end the email with the banners that say, we have a gift guide in case you still need some choices. We have an extra 20% off when you get our Macy's credit card. Extra value in the banners in the bottom of the email. So that's the template structure, and that's how they run it out. And it works time and time again. But let's be honest, there are about 5 days of holidays. There's a 5-day weekend, right? You have Thanksgiving, you have Black Friday, you have Saturday, Small Business Saturday, or Best of Black Friday, or Black Friday Last Chance, depending on your brand, depending on how you want to position it. You have Cyber Monday Early Access on Sunday, and then you actually have Cyber Monday. So running the same email all the time may not be the best experience for your customers, right? Because they see it over and over, right? How many times can you see a navigation? How many times can you see the same products? How many times can you see the same value propositions? On top of that, there's a law of diminishing returns, which means that if you keep running the same template, there's a chance that it may not be impactful on the last touch. So I want to make sure that our emails are crafted to maximize the clicks and conversion, which is why during the Black Friday or during a Cyber Monday or during a Small Business Saturday, you have the right template in front of your customers. So here's the curiosity template that I just explained to you. You have the hero image, followed by the navigation, right? Followed by curated products or dynamic products, and then followed by banners. I then take my template and I invert some of it, right? And I make it more curated, where the hero image is at the top. Then I follow with products that I think they'll love, followed by navigation and then extra banners. And the third type of template to roll out is kind of a much more condensed email that drives clicks, where I just have the hero image in it. So the reason why I'm sharing this with you is because it's important to understand Black Friday has 3 phases. So in order to maximize and take advantage of the 3 phases of consumer psychology, which is exploration, right, the curiosity stage, and then the curious stage where they're kind of like zeroing in on the products, and then finally the click stage where they just need that final push, you can roll out all 3 templates on a Black Friday. You can even extend it to a Black Friday and a Saturday, right? And mimic the same setup on a Sunday. So I'll give a great example of how this will work, right? So number one, let's take a look on the next slide actually, right? Number one, the curiosity template, the one who just kind of gets people to explore, that's your first template, right? That's the master template I explained right here. You have the hero, then the navigation, then the products, and then the banners. But midday, right? Let's say you want to send an email midday on Black Friday to get extra traffic to the site. You want to invert the products, because the products that will show in the email, if you're using your dynamic algorithm correctly, the products you show in the email will be personalized to that customer based on what they browsed in from the AM email, right? So now that email is a lot more personalized than it was in the AM email, right? AM email drives the clicks, drives the exploration, drives the data exchange, right? And for those that don't convert, they get the mid-afternoon email, the PM email that is more personalized, more curated to them. They feeling like you're listening to them. They have a high propensity to convert or click more as well, now that you've picked items for them. And then you want to end the day, let's say 8 p.m., with that just a hero image, a last chance, BFCM last chance, that's the LC right there. Last chance, just a hero image. Reminder, you have 4 hours left, countdown timer, you name it. Buy right now. You just get them to the store. That's the structure, and that's the layout of your Black Friday campaigns. And it works the same way for Cyber Monday, right? AM, you start with the curiosity, you get them to explore, to click, find out what they're clicking on. The middle email, the afternoon, you're curating more products in front of them, showing them more of what they may want. The last email is like, hey, if you still haven't bought now, I just want you to the store. Let's just get you back into the store, right? That's the whole point, and that's the structure of your templates and your rollouts on Black Friday. And again, it works the same way on Cyber Monday too, right? And you'll see it. You'll see it in your inbox, just like I saw those emails from Wayfair, Nordstrom, Sephora, Macy's. Everyone does the same structure. Now, it's important to realize that if you only have like 1 or 2 SKUs, this structure may not work for you. You may want to focus on the hero side of it, that last chance image, that clicks email. And that's totally fine, right? If that works for your brand. But the top brands, the biggest brands in the world, have easily over 100 SKUs. We work with brands that have literally 500,000 to 1 million SKUs. And there's just so much variety that you don't have enough. You can't just survive with just a one-click email. You got to be able to show variety, get exploration, get curiosity, because you never know what customers will buy, right? There's so many products. So you got to position more categories, more navigation, more dynamic products into the email, rather than, let's say, just a static image for one cup or one product. And that's generally how it will work. So this is why it's super helpful to distinguish between retailers and brands that have lots of SKUs, and a brand that's just starting up, has like 1 or 2 products or 5 products, and that's it. And to show this actually works, we run this out for brands in October, November, and December. It's not just isolated to a 5-day weekend, though if you're only running it out on a 5-day weekend, that's great too. You'll still maximize your clicks and maximize your conversions. But we run this out for clients overall. And this brand right here, this 7-figure holiday, home decor brand for the holidays, actually pulled in their holiday sales much earlier. They went to a 198% revenue growth year over year from their email program in October. And then they grew by 260% year over year in November, powered by Black Friday, Cyber Monday, especially with our templates. And then they ended December with 90% up year over year. This brand went from like $300,000 in Q4 to easily $550,000 in Q4 in just 1 year with this template structure, because they got more clicks, they got more exploration, they got more curiosity. We followed up with the right curated procs that we think the customer would love on a one-to-one level across over 100,000 subscribers, right? Imagine the personalization capabilities of that. And then we ended the day, we ended every single sale we had with a postcard hero image that just drove clicks and got people to come in and take that final stand and just buy. So that's the holiday structure. That's the Black Friday, Cyber Monday email template structure that will double your clicks and double your conversions. So let's do some takeaways here from this Retention Nation episode. Number one, max out your clicks. Get as many clicks to the website as you can. Really important to do that and get your customers to see the email, get the clicks, get exploration, get curiosity, and then end the day with more a one-click hero postcard. Second is you want to make sure that whatever you're linking to, you match the email to the site. Really important to understand that we're actually getting people to the traffic to the site, right? We're a traffic generator. You want to actually convert them. So you got to match your experience too, right? That's another key pillar here. We didn't really talk too much about, but you want to convert more customers when they get to your site, right? So you really make sure that your website matches your emails. And then finally, again, sorry if it's a little blocked, it says the right template and the right send. You want to match the right template, your curiosity template to the mornings, and your curated emails midday or Black Friday last chance. And then, Black Friday, best of Black Friday or Small Business Saturday with that kind of curated style. And then end with a last chance email that's driven up by clicks. That's going to be how you maximize your Black Friday, Cyber Monday emails and really get those clicks and conversions up. And that's really what you really want to do, right? That's going to be a major driver for your business. So thank you so much for joining me on this Retention Nation episode. I really hope you learned a lot. This is, again, what the top brands are doing to maximize their email program during Black Friday and Cyber Monday. And it comes down to maximizing your templates. A lot of small little tweaks to your templates yield to a lot more clicks and a lot more conversions. So it's really good, a really great idea. Just focus on that part of it. I hope you learned a lot. Hope you got a lot of good takeaways from this. Hope it was very helpful for you. And I'm excited to see your emails in my inbox. Thank you so much for joining me. I will see you on the next Retention Nation podcast episode. Take care. Thanks for listening to the Retention Nation podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to subscribe and join our Retention Nation Facebook group. If you want to put this week's retention strategy into action within minutes, all done for you by our expert email, SMS, and retention team, you can go to highflyerdigital.com/book for a free 15-minute chat with myself and my team. It's time to turn those one-time and sometime buyers on your list into lifetime buyers and unlock the revenue you deserve. Your brand is worth it, and your customers will thank you for it. Until next week, I'm Isaac Hyman, wishing you a successful and profitable week.